Hello and welcome to the incredibly influential, highly successful podcast. My name is Kael. I'm incredibly influential.
And I'm Danny, and I'm highly successful.
Today is fucking Sunday night, October 27th, as we're recording this. It's gonna tick over into Monday. Sorry we're so late. Um, I hate you, Danny.
Okay, but what's new this week,
It's not new. I'm glad you acknowledged that I hate you, and that I've always hated you, and you suck. Um,
Hmm. I guess. If
I
you
want.
say so.
So the reason why we're so late is Um, I went to go see a movie on Friday. It was fucking hype. It was super good. But and I was like, all right, let's talk about it on the podcast. I said between Kat and Danny, I made it a competition. I said first one of you who goes to see it gets to get paid this week, and I'll pay for a movie ticket as a business expense. Um, and neither one of you got to it in time, so sucks to suck, I guess.
Well, on Thursday, I had karaoke, and
It
on
wasn't on Thursday.
Friday,
It wasn't on Thursday.
I had pumpkin carving,
It
and on
was it was probably after
Saturday,
that on Friday.
no, I was pumpkin carving until like 5 a.m. On Sunday. No, 5
Today is
a.m. on
Sunday.
Saturday. My bad, 5 a.m. on Saturday, because I was Friday to Saturday. So it was a deep pumpkin carving session, right?
Maybe you should carve these nuts into your
It
forehead.
was a good pumpkin. Nobody's ever gonna see it. I could show you, but the audience, they're not gonna see it
You
unless
know we have threads, right? We can just post it on threads.
I could
We'll
send you a
just post it on
picture
Twitter. We
if
could
you
just
want.
tweet it.
We could
We can,
just seed it.
no, we're gonna tweet it on threads. I watched an interesting video from Hank Green today. Um,
Is it that Elon Musk's
doesn't
lies that
own
he?
Twitter. Yeah. Oh no,
So
no, no.
he
I
said.
also watched that. I also watched that this week.
I didn't get a chance to watch that one. I saw it in my feed. I was like, that's an interesting title. Maybe I'll watch it later. I never.
Somebody brought it up on Reddit and gave me the link, so I watched it then, and that was pretty interesting. How Elon Musk is a fucking retard. Uh, yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
that's not news though. That's not news. He's fucking retarded. He's been retarded.
Yeah, so like carving pumpkins, and then Saturday I had two parties to go to, and then I slept in a lot today, and I was doing
I
homework and stuff. So, and then I was gonna go to the movies, but I wasn't gonna watch that movie. It was gonna be watch Venom, but I didn't get a chance to do that either because my brother went to a concert. Sad.
the funniest part is that you were gonna go and see Venom instead of this movie. Like,
I
let
well,
me.
I'm invested in the Venom franchise.
I
I don't
don't know
even care if it's
why.
good.
I don't know why you are. What do you mean you don't care if it's good? No shit. None of them have been good.
Well, the Venom ones they've been pretty decent. I feel like
They've been
they
fucking
have
terrible.
Tom Hardy. He does a pretty good job. I like how they have Venom in those movies. He's Venom's kind of his like own character. It's Venom, but it's also
Hang on.
Tom Hardy. You got two guys. It's like a buddy comedy almost. You know what I mean? But they're
All right.
you
On the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, Venom won 30%. Let's look up Venom 2.
Venom 2 is better in my opinion.
Venom 2. Oh, all right, 57% on the critic score. And
You
then
got some.
The Last Dance was 37% so far.
Well,
I
from the
was going to
trailers
say
of The Last Dance, I don't really know what it's about, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Usually, from trailers, you can kind of get an idea, but I really couldn't tell what it was about.
I
So,
prefer
so we'll see.
when you can't really when you don't get that much revealed. Um, I was all right. I was gonna make a point that all three Venom scores combined would equal the Wild Robots. That's the movie we're talking about, by the way, the Wild Robot. Um, I was gonna say that if you combined all three, it would equal the percent that Wild Robot got. But Venom 2, surprisingly very highly rated by critics, even
It was a
though
really good movie. Venom 2 is better than Venom 1 for sure.
I heard it was. I heard that the first one was better, but also actually I don't believe that. I don't think that's true.
The first one was decent. I feel like people still probably were pretty upset that it didn't have Spider-Man, but by Venom 2, we got Carnage, and Carnage makes everything better.
Carnage is so much better when it's Spider-Man and Venom against Carnage. But whatever, it's fine. It's
Let
fine.
me tell you though, it's like the only live action Carnage I think that we've gotten, and it was a really solid live action Carnage.
Yeah.
Really,
I
really
also
solid.
saw Transformers 1 a little while ago, and
I
that was
watched
also really fucking good.
I watched this little movie. You might not have heard of it. It's called The Truman Show. I watched that one early, like last week. We can talk about that if you want.
Wow. You're hang on.
That's
How
a
many
good one, right?
years how many years late are you?
No, I rewatched it. I've watched it before. I just rewatched it, so we could talk about that if you want.
Wild Robot has a higher critic score than Truman Show.
It is crazy. I feel like from what I've seen of the Wild Robot, which isn't that much, it
Has a
seems
higher
alright.
IMDb score and uh it doesn't have a higher on Metacritic, but Google users higher, IMDb higher, Rotten
I,
Tomatoes higher.
I feel like it's like what you're trying to get out of the movie as well, though. I feel like Truman Show did something a little different, which I like whenever movies try something a little outside of like the regular formula.
I mean, I don't know if it's that similar to like I would say it does have like maybe it's not swinging for the fences as much, but like holy shit, it's really fucking good. It is I would say um it might be DreamWorks' best movie. It's better than
Um,
Megamind. It's better than Megamind by a
Meg
lot.
Megamind was pretty solid. It's
Let's
kind it's kind of I haven't watched it, so I can't say, but Megamind's pretty solid.
let me uh I don't know, man. I don't know. Puss in Boots, it's definitely better than Puss in Boots 1.
Well, yeah,
Better
both of Puss
than
in Boots are alright.
Puss in Boots 2 is way better than Puss in Boots 1, but um
I barely even remember Puss in Boots 1. I forget what it's about.
exactly. Yeah. It's like it's fine. Wild I would say Wild Robot is better than it's definitely better than B movie. It's better than all the How to Train Your Dragons.
Oh, the How to
Um
Train Your Dragon trilogy though is so good.
and yet Wild Robot is better. That's how fucking good it is.
I feel like it's just such a solid trilogy though. It's just solid.
Yeah, but Wild Robot is solid as a movie. And like I love Megamind. Megamind is really good. But Wild Robot is better. It's better than the first two Kung Fu Panda movies. I haven't seen Kung Fu Panda 3, but
Well, Kung Fu Panda 1, uh I to be honest, I think the first one's probably just the best. That's because
um
but
I
I haven't watched the second and third one in a minute. Let me try to think of what they're about.
I would say that kind of that point you brought up earlier about um is Kung Fu Panda like 1 and Kung Fu Panda 2 like you're kind of looking for something different between them because like Kung Fu Panda 2 is a lot more serious than Kung Fu Panda 1.
Well, yeah, Kung Fu Panda 1, I feel like established the world, established the characters, it got us really invested.
Mhm.
I think Tai Lung probably definitely the strongest antagonist of the whole series. 'Cause
Really? I thought Gay Old Man did a much better job
which
cuz
one is Gay Old Man? Is that the
it's
cuz
the
I remember
bird.
yeah, that's the second one. That's the cuz I remember the first one is about him becoming the Dragon Warrior and defeating Tai Lung. The second one's about I think the story with his mom, right? And
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda 2 is like
how his mom kind of like dropped him in like a basket or whatever, and it talks about like why there's no pandas. Then the third
mhm.
one is about the other dad, where all the pandas went. It also kind of like is about what's it the Uguay kind of passing down more responsibility to Poe, which I'm like, that's cool, I guess, whatever. And then the
I
fourth one is like a successor type of thing.
Kung
It's
Fu
kind of like
Panda.
it's kind of what Cars did actually with Cars 3, where Cars 3 is all about him trying to find a successor. I don't really know if I like that storyline as much. I feel like just kind of end it, but
I
mm,
mean, all right. I will say the Kung Fu Panda movies have like fucking phenomenal actors for the villains. They've got in the first one Ian McShane, uh, aka um Blackbeard in Pirates of the Caribbean 4, Winston from John Wick, um, Odin from American Gods. Fucking, he was also in Game of Thrones, I think. I fucking forget. I don't know. Uh, yeah, he was in American Gods a little bit too. Yeah, he's fucking awesome. Love me some Ian McShane. He's fucking awesome. Um, uh, however, I would say in the next one, Kung Fu Panda 2, they have gay old man. Everybody loves gay old man. You know
I don't
gay
know,
old man.
man. I feel like I just like Tai Lung more. Tai Lung, I just felt like had like a better story and like had a better presence
I
than
I think Gary
than
Oldman has a
Peacock.
better presence, but um I think Gary Oldman had a better presence, but um like I feel like Tai Lung is probably used better. I think Gary Oldman has the better like acting chops though. Like he gives a better performance. It's just how they use it. But
Yeah, that might be what it was as well. I don't know what it is. Just Tai Lung has always been perfect. Perfect villain for the first movie. There, best villain for all the movies, in my opinion. Because the third movie is a very forgettable
you
villain.
get J.K. Simmons though. It's fucking J.K. Simmons though. Come on.
For the third
It's
movie,
J. Jonah Jameson, baby. He wants
yeah,
pictures of Spider Man.
yeah, good actor for sure. I just feel like the way that the characters like they don't really have as much like screen time, so it's very easy to forget them. Because like the movie, I
Okay,
feel like in the
I'm
first movie, it's all about stopping Tai Lung, right? It's like you're the Dragon Warrior, you need to stop Tai Lung. That's a big focus of the movie, right? And like
yeah,
in the second movie, I feel like it's more about him kind of like trying to discover his past, and like
yeah,
the villain is like a lesser part of it, which is I feel like is why
but
I
he's
don't
a part of
connect
the
to the villain.
past thing.
He is, but I feel like
Also,
it's
hang on. I've just received news here that I've forgotten a key DreamWorks entry. Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were Rabbit.
is
Oof, that's DreamWorks. That's technically DreamWorks.
I know Wallace and Gromit, right? Or whatever you said. I I remember it was a solid movie. I don't remember it very
It's
well
a
though.
great movie. It's a fucking great movie. Oh my god. I would put Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were Rabbit on the same level as Megamind. Like Megamind, great meme potential, but Wallace and Gromit, man, come on, come on, it's Wallace and Gromit, come on, it's awesome. Um, was Shaun the Sheep? Did DreamWorks do that one as well? The Shaun the Sheep movie? I guess they didn't. Um, uh, but yeah, Wild Robot, really good. But we can't discuss spoilers yet, so this is kind of a non-discussion until you go see it. Um, but yeah,
Like,
holy shit.
well, like I saw what's it called? A trailer for it, so I pretty much know what happens in the movie. I know what the movie's about. It's about a robot in the wild. Did I nail it? Did I nail it on the head?
You can give me head.
That's not. I feel like your lack of an answer means I kind of just guessed the movie. Kind of got you there.
I
Kind of got you
mean,
there. It's a robot in the wilds.
in the
Boom,
sense that like if you
boom, done.
said in the sense that like if you saw a Captain America trailer and you said it's about a captain who's from America, that would be kind of correct.
You know,
Like
in Die Hard, do they die hard? That's the
um
guess.
we don't really get to inspect and see if they're hard.
I guess it depends on like how you want to interpret the
Hard.
title. You know.
Hard. Erect.
Yes, that's you know this is interesting. Did you do anything fun this week at all?
Yeah.
Well, how would you talk about that?
Nah, um do I have to?
I feel like that's what the podcast is for, to talk about things. Is it not?
I was about to talk about things. It doesn't have to be my things, you know.
Well, do you have something you want to talk about?
Um, me and Kat watched Transformers. That was pretty cool.
Yes, that's great for y'all. I can't really say anything about that though, because I wasn't there. So like, you take it away with that one.
How do
Go
you feel
for it.
about Transformers?
It's been a franchise that I've known about, but I've never had too much of an interest in. I watched the first movie and I said, you know what? That's all right, I guess. Not for me, but
Yeah,
it's not offensive.
you're. I mean, you know what?
I know what you're about to
Um,
say. Rude, hurtful.
what do you think I was about to say? What do you think I was about to say?
No, it's all right.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. Um, we watched the first one. Um, I think that movie's actually hype. I think that movie's actually fucking so hype. Like genuinely, I think it might be the hypest fucking movie ever.
I preferred holes.
I don't think Holes is um better than Transformers 1. I'm going to be honest with you.
But did you forget about the part where they were trying to find treasure in the holes?
Dude, I was in Holes.
Did you
I
find
can't
any
forget
treasure?
it. No, I was X-Ray. X-Ray doesn't find shit. That's actually a major plot point that he doesn't find anything.
For a name like X-Ray, you would think that he'd be a little bit better.
Yes, that's also a key plot point. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, no, Transformers 1 is still better. It's got a little bit of racism in it, but that's how I like it, you know? You got to have a little bit of racism.
I do feel like movies nowadays are a little too shy to include some racier jokes. You know, they fear they're gonna get canceled. But I feel like
Not
sometimes,
racier, racist-er. Let's
okay,
let's get it right. Come on.
well, I was talking about like movies in general, you know, and not only specifically like racist jokes. You know,
I I like
I do feel like, you know, more and more nowadays it's one of those things where they're a little scared to like offend people, which I feel like, you know, you can't make them all happy. You know, you gotta just do what you want to do sometimes.
yeah,
You know,
I do feel like mainstream movies are a little bit less um willing to uh really do anything groundbreaking for fear of like being offensive. So where it's like we kind of lose a little bit of uh people aren't like taking risks anymore because the studio system is so safe. It's kind of like how in the world of video games, um all games are like the same thing now. There's like fucking it's all uh Jiminy Cockthroat fucking um like uh go to the open world and do the crafting and do the stealth and do the combat. you know, and like all movies are like, or and all games are like that, and it feels like all movies are like fucking Marvel movie bullshit, and nobody really wants to like take that many like risks or anything, you know what I mean? And it's
Mm,
kind of
mm,
annoying.
Yeah, man. I was watching White Chicks one day, and I was like, this movie would not be made nowadays. But what a
Well, of
good
course they
movie!
wouldn't make it nowadays. They already made
What
it.
a good movie! Well, I'm saying a movie like that wouldn't be made nowadays. I feel like people are too. They wouldn't like it. There's a lot of scenes in that movie that I like, that I think are really funny, but like I feel like somebody would probably be offended by them because everybody's so sensitive nowadays.
Yeah, I would say my favorite fucking movie that like wouldn't be made nowadays is fucking a good movies. It'd be a good movie that people wouldn't make nowadays. You know what I mean?
But White Chicks is solid movie.
No,
You don't like White Chicks?
I think My Dinner with Andre. I mean, not that that got like a theatrical release back then either, right? Like it was kind of indie back in the day as well, but like My Dinner with Andre, no one would make a movie like that and like actually get like a return, you know? It's yeah, I don't know. It's one of my favorite fucking movies. It's really good. It I guess it did have a little bit of a theatrical release cuz it did have like a box office and it made money. Do you know how much they made My Dinner with Andre on?
Um, assume from what I remember, you telling me about it. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. It's about two people sitting talking.
Yeah.
And it's just one long scene, or one, maybe not one long scene, but it's like one setting. You know what I mean? So I'm assuming probably pretty cheap. Not a lot of moving parts there.
So, it was made on a budget of less than $500,000 in 1980s money, right? So 1980, it was filmed in like 1980, 1981. So let's do the conversion. 475,000, 1981 to today. Adjusted for inflation, it's about 1.7 million, which is not a lot for like, I mean, like it's a lot for like independent movies, but like for,
Well, the actual filming of the movie probably wasn't where all that money went. It was, well, actually, I don't know. Like, did that movie have like a marketing campaign? Like, you said it
well,
was an
all
indie
right.
movie, so I don't know
So
how did that
budget
work.
budget usually doesn't include marketing. Um,
Well, how much did they get paid? Like the actual,
how much did they make in the box office?
no, I mean like the actors. Like, was the actor's salary high?
Um,
Because I know
it really
that's a.
only has like five people. There's like five people and extras.
I know, but I know that doesn't that go into the money it costs to make
Yeah,
a
and
movie?
then you have to pay the crew. It wasn't like too much of a crew, but like obviously there's something, and it was just like yeah, it's really interesting, and it's yeah, it's they rented out uh in a hotel that was like vacant, and they designed the set to look like a restaurant in New York City, and they for 2 weeks they just shot there, and it was really, you know, the fact that they were able to shoot like one of the greatest movies of all time in for less than $500,000 of 1980s money, and in 2 weeks is fucking crazy. It's that is like the main like example that I would use for doing a lot with a little. But they made back their budget by like almost fucking five times, right? Over five times if you don't include marketing and like for your consideration and bullshit like that. Um they made 5.25 million off of a $475,000 budget, and adjusted for inflation, that's almost 20 million. So that's like for less than 2 million, making fucking almost 20 million is pretty impressive. Pretty impressive.
What about like Rocky? I heard that one was like a very like he wrote the movie himself, right?
Stallone, yeah, I believe he did. Yes,
I'm assuming like for that type of movie, it probably wouldn't have been that expensive either. I haven't watched it, but like just from what I know about it, I need to watch it. I need
it
to watch a lot of these
is.
older movies.
Uh, Given inflation, since it came out a little bit earlier than My Dinner with Andre, um, given a little bit more inflation and that sort of thing, it was made for a little bit over two times the that My Dinner with Andre was. Rocky was made for 1.1 million, and it made 225 million in 1970s money. So it's a little bit. It was 5 years between them. Um, but it's yeah. It's a little different, but it's a really. Rocky, yeah, they made a lot with a little for that one, but like they had like way more sets and stuff. So I would argue that Rocky is a little bit more impressive than My Dinner with Andre vis-a-vis um budget and like making it work. I like that. I'm really impressed with that. Like how they managed to do that. There's a lot more actors, there's a lot more um like shoots. Obviously it took a lot longer to shoot. Um it was yeah. It's impressive. Rocky is also a really impressive movie. It's not my favorite of the franchise, but it's really good. I'm
Yeah, see, I've been trying to like, go back and watch movies whenever I see them like recommended, like from my memory, movies that I hear are good. If I see like a movie, I'm like, oh, I've heard that movie's pretty good. I'll just click on it, watch it type of thing.
mhm.
Uh, it is really hard to find certain movies though, because certain movies aren't on any platforms. They're only for renting, which isn't great. I did
Yeah.
end up watching. I think it was about a week ago. I watched Shutter Island for the first time. That one was pretty good.
Yeah. Scorsese. Yeah. Um I will say I have beef. I have beef with Scorsese. I think he's overrated. I also don't think he knows how to read.
Well, I don't know anything about Scorsese, but I do know that Shutter Island was pretty decent from what I remember.
I don't think he knows how to read. Um
Hmm.
I don't like his Cape Fear. He did a Cape Fear, an adaptation of Cape Fear, but he didn't do an adaptation of the book. He did an adaptation of the movie, which is an adaptation of the book. So you just lose a lot out of out of the book, and I think the book is really good. Um, and like the way that he like changes it makes like the main point of the book not work. Cause yeah, I don't know. Eh it's whatever. It's whatever. He's okay. I thought Killers of the Flower Moon was a little overrated as well, to be honest.
Yeah, but my what's it called? My uncle, he pays for I guess the premium, so he has like all the movies. I need to go hang out with him, watch some more movies because I don't have them on Netflix.
Yeah, I watch a lot of movies, but I need to watch some more. I've just been busy and just watching fucking YouTube and shit like that. I get lost on the YouTube Shorts page sometimes, and like
Oh,
just
see, I
rewatch shit.
I
It's
disabled the shorts on my YouTube, but I still have like the same problem on Instagram and on TikTok. So it doesn't help too much because I'll be stuck watching long form videos on YouTube and I'll be stuck watching short form videos on Instagram and
yeah,
TikTok.
that's
But
fair.
I try my best to like I said, I turned off shorts on YouTube because I was like, I can't be doing this on 3 apps, you know.
That's fair. That's fair. That's that'll do you in. If you're doing it on 3 apps, then you're truly boned. But if you're only doing two, it's fine. I guess. I don't know.
And I really try my best to just get off of TikTok and Instagram as fast as possible. Sometimes I'll get stuck though for a little bit, and then I'll be like, oh man, I wasted a lot of time here.
Yeah, yeah, that does tend to happen sometimes. I will freely acknowledge that is something that you should definitely watch out for is getting trapped in that loop because it's designed to trap you in that loop, and it's really good at it. It's
Sometimes like I do hit like several duds in a row, and then I'll have enough time to like be like, oh man, let
it'll
me.
snap you out of it.
Yeah, I'll be like, okay, time to get out of here.
Yeah,
We
that
get like
that will
4 duds
fucking
in a
do it.
row, and then I'm like, all right, like we need to leave. We need to leave right now.
Yeah, it's like um, it's like when Odysseus was on the fucking island of the Lotus Eaters. Oh my god. Ugh.
You see, I've read about it like on Wikipedia because I wanted to get into it. I own the Odyssey. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I really want to though.
I was in the Odyssey as well, but it was a
Y-
version where everything rhymed.
Uh, okay. What do you mean you were in the Odyssey, but a version where everything right?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Everything rhymed. It was, you know, it rhymed.
What do you mean it rhymed? Like you're not gonna give any more context?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, I've been really into the Odyssey because I'm following a project that happens to be about the Odyssey. Uh, and that's why I wanted to reread it. That way I can kind of know more about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a copy of it. Um, it's I don't know. I don't think it's that good. Honestly, it.
I've read the Iliad. I just have not had a chance to read the Odyssey yet.
I mean, like I like the Odyssey. Um, I just think it depends on how you get it translated, what medium it is. But like, if it's like faithful to the fucking Homeric version, man, it's a bit of a slog to get through. It's a bit of a fucking slog. Um,
People really like the new translations by this Emily. I don't know the last name. I know it's Emily something. People really like those translations a lot. Whenever I bought my book, I hadn't really heard much about those translations, so I have one of the older translations. And from reading the Iliad by the same person that I got the Odyssey translated by, it was a little bit of a slog. I'm not gonna lie. It was one
yeah,
of those things where it's like if I read it for too long, I kind of had to. I would like zone out because of just how like it was not very like enthralling the way it's written. You know,
no, of course not. It's fucking.
it's not
It's
written
kind of
like how a
fucking
story
boring.
should be. It's more written like an account than like a story, which
Yes. I
I
guess
just
that's what it was, like Homer was telling the story like that. It's kind of intentional.
yeah, but usually I'm so used to storytellers kind of trying to make it interesting, but he was like, "This is exactly how it happened. No, flavorful details or anything. It's just there it is." Because
Yeah.
have you read the Iliad?
I have. I have. That
Do
was that
you
was in middle school.
remember? Do you remember this one part? It was called like the counting of the ships or something like that, right?
Yeah, they do
You,
that.
yeah, you. It was like I want to say 30 pages. Well, I mean not 30 pages. It was like maybe like 10 pages. And it listed every single ship from every single country and every single like major person that was on every single ship and how many
Yeah.
people they had underneath them and how many vessels.
Yeah.
And it went on for like 10 pages of just that
Yeah.
over and over, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, this is."
Fucking Homer really thought he ate with that shit. He really thought we gave a shit. He really thought we gave a fuck about that, bro.
And then during the battles, he had to like list every single person that dies by name, and then not only that, he'll have like a little anecdote by it, like,
Yep.
oh, he's this person of this person, and his father was this person. I'm just like, why do I care about his father now? I'm just like, what is going on?
Yeah, it could be a bit of a slog. I will say that well, the main thing is, right? If you look at it, this is like the first example of like a shared fucking universe, right? This is the ancient Greek version of the fucking MCU, basically. Because you've got all these fucking like heroes and shit. They already had like mythical status, but this is like an adaptation out of like a mythical status and like actually like codified into like an actual story. So like this is the MCU. This is the fucking Avengers basically. Cuz like it's like an adaptation of like one of the big fucking stories, right? Um but like Achilles was doing other shit and he's related to other people. Um he was in the prequel story, the story about the Argonauts. Achilles was there. He was or his dad was there, and like it, like you, but you get what I mean, right? That there's plays and shit about like other characters in the story, right? You go from the Achilles to the play about Agamemnon, where he gets fucked by his wife and murdered and killed again, like just killed so hard. She get he gets killed so fucking hard. It's kind of crazy. Um, but like you get the play about Agamemnon and like Clytemnestra, and then like after that, there's also like some other plays in there. You know, you get about um the one about fucking what's her name? What is her name? Oh, Electra gets her own play. Um, she gets two actually. There's like a whole trilogy, right? The Oresteia, where's there's like Agamemnon gets killed, um, and then the then fucking the Agamemnon's wife gets killed, and then there's a trial about that, and then there's like a curse on them, and it's like it's like the original MCU, and I think that's kind of fucking cool. And then later on in the much later, so like literally about 500 years after the Oresteia, you get the Aeneid, and the Aeneid is I think it reads a little bit better.
Oh, I think I did hear about the Aeneid. I think that was one of the ones I also wanted to read because it was like somehow tied to like the Greek stories, but like I forget exactly what it said like on the Wikipedia page because I was kind of just going like all
I
like I clicked epics because I wanted to like see what like the major epics was, and Aeneid showed up.
I would say the Aeneid is I would say it's like the third in the trilogy that like didn't exist, right? Like Homer had his first two, and then he was like, "All right, fuck it, I'm done." And then um Virgil comes in, he's like, "All right, bitch, watch this." And then he makes the fucking Aeneid. And I like the Aeneid. It's I don't know, it's not quite as action packed as you know the Odyssey, the Iliad. But it's pretty cool.
You
Um,
see, I kind of am hoping that I'm going to like the Odyssey more, even though like it's probably gonna be written like in a similar way, just because
it
the Odyssey
is.
is more of like a journey and like there's more happening in it, whereas the Iliad is all about just very repetitive kind of like battles. And it wasn't like the thing about the Iliad is that like it didn't really even matter what the soldiers did. It was kind of just the gods choosing who won each battle.
Yeah,
Which I was like, what's I don't I guess, you know.
yeah, that is kind of the frustrating part about the Iliad, where it's not about like Odysseus will do something fucking cool, but as he is wont to do, because he's fucking cool guy. But uh he got the idea from Athena or from Ares or fucking some asshole. And well, probably not from Ares because I think Ares was on the side of the Trojans, but fucking you get what I mean, right? Like he'll get the idea from fucking Athena, and like he doesn't come up with shit on his own, and it's bullshit. Speaking of things that I've come up with on my own, we need to go to the ad break. Love you. Goodbye. We'll be back. This podcast is sponsored by Amanda Redwine, your no nonsense talk therapist and parent coach. Serving individuals and couples in both Illinois and Florida for counseling/therapy, as well as worldwide for parent coaching. Amanda's specialty is working with teens and young adults, as well as their family systems. Amanda has extensive experience working with youth who identify on the LGBTQIA+ spectrum. She has also done couples work based on a foundation of the Gottman method. She brings a light, no nonsense approach to treatment that is approachable and empathetic. She is unflappable and makes her clients comfortable from the very beginning. Find out more at www.amandaredwine.com. That's AMANDAREDWINE.com. Thank you again for sponsoring this episode, and back to the show. All right, we're back. I forgot what I was talking about. Odysseus doesn't have any original ideas. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. Um, However, a key plot point in the Aeneid is pizza. So
Ooh, can't go wrong with pizza.
yeah, I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty hype actually. So
You know, I feel like that's the moral of the story here is pizza.
yeah, so you know what? Hey, that's if that's the the thing that sells it to you, then I would go read it because it's got pizza in it.
Well, I just I've not been making a ton of time for books, which is part of the reason why I haven't read the Odyssey yet.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, like I have like an order that I'm trying to read the books. I'm trying to read my books in. The last book I read was the Iliad. That was a couple months ago at this point because I fell behind. The next
Mm-hmm.
book I wanted to read was I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy.
Yeah,
And then I was gonna read the Odyssey. And then after the Odyssey, it's kind of just we'll figure it out. But I
kind of a
feel like
crapshoot.
yeah, well like the thing is I don't want to plan too far ahead. I haven't even read those two books yet.
That's fair.
But I do have two other like kind of like no name kind of books that I got as gifts that I want to read eventually. They're not like any like memorable like or like big books. They're just kind of like, oh, here's a genre I think you might like type of thing.
That's fair.
So I have those books. So if I don't have any ideas by then, I have those ones as like, fillers.
That's true.
I
That's true.
started this year really really strong with my book reading, and then
Not so much anymore.
yeah, well the thing is I read like 90% of my like 90% of all the reading I did this year was at work.
Yeah, yeah, that
Because
happens.
um what happened was like the way that my job was set up initially, because it was a new warehouse, is that there was lots of problems, and every time there was a problem, I would read my book
Yep.
because work would stop. And then once they
Yep.
kind of like streamlined the process and kind of got on to people more about rates, it was a little bit less and less. And then they switched me over to the trailers, and in the trailers, it's not your work isn't tracked like person by person. It's the only way it's tracked is trailer by trailer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as long as your trailer is good, you're good. And like if you get like a really slow trailer for the day, you're just chilling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You get like one package every like 3 minutes. you're reading the entire time. You put one box away, you're reading again. I got so much reading done in the trailer.
Yeah.
The the only problem is that there's nowhere to like set down my book in the trailer. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I tried to set it down like near the conveyor belt, but either I would knock it down or somebody else would knock it down. So I have like one or two scuffed books. But hey, they're not for looking at; they're for reading, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Um,
That's what I don't like about like paperbacks, especially. Like they get kind of like crumpled and like the spine starts to bend. But also hardcovers like is more noticeable when that starts to happen. You know.
yeah,
Yeah. Either way, fucking paper books are fucking they're fucked. You know.
yeah. So whenever I get a chance, I'm glad my mom died is always in my bag that I bring to school, and I'm trying to make time for it. The thing is, I'm trying to do a lot of different things, and the book isn't super high on that list right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard to like work that in. You know. I get what you mean. Like, yeah, it is. It can be hard to work that shit in. It's frustrating because you really want to like you really you're like, oh man, it's like it's so interesting. Like those are really good memoirs, right? Um,
Hmm.
and it's just like, damn, I really want to read this. I really want to like get into it because it's really interesting. But you're just kind of like, well, damn, I'm kind of screwed here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
and it's really weird. I think I got so used to reading when I was at work that if whenever I try to read like and it's silent, it's just weird. You know what I mean, right? I feel like I'm so used to background noise.
yeah, we were talking about that in one of my classes that it's like it can be hard to study in silence if you're used to studying with noise. Sleep is kind of that way too. Like I like to sleep with YouTube on. I sometimes I don't do it as much anymore, but like most of the time I would say like 4 or 5 nights out of the week I'll do it. Um, I got I used to not do it because I would sleep with my ex, but obviously she's my ex now, so like fucking that doesn't happen so much anymore.
Yeah, I know my brother's like the same way. I remember a couple years ago it would be The Office, but now I think it's literally YouTube or whatever show he's like kind of like watching that he doesn't really care about too much.
Yeah.
He'll just throw it on. Cause like sometimes I'll be like, oh man, is he awake? And I'll hear voices, but then I'll like listen closer for like a minute, and then I'll be
And
like,
it's
oh,
fucking
that's just
Michael Scott. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like a show, and I'm just like, okay, never mind, he's not awake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I'm a YouTube sleeper. I know it's kind of cringe, but hey, if that's my biggest problem, I'm doing okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like for me, like what I usually do is I'll watch YouTube, and one of two things will happen. Either I'll fall asleep with YouTube on because I just got so tired I couldn't keep my eyes open, or I'll start to notice that my eyes are dropping, and I'll turn off YouTube. I'll turn off my like screen and phone, and then I'll just fall asleep right there.
That's
But
fair.
it's really hard to like not like do that right before I go to sleep, like just to go to sleep just on
Yeah.
command type of thing, right? Because I feel like I want to be thinking, and if I'm thinking, I might as well be watching YouTube at that point. I'm already gonna be awake.
I think
It-
that'll
and then it's a circular problem. You see what I mean?
yeah, I think that does invite itself for some circular reasoning. I think.
Well, yeah, YouTube keeps me awake, but also if I'm already gonna be awake, I might as well watch YouTube. You know what I mean? Until I go to sleep.
See, I think I found your problem.
You see what I mean? Like it's like there's really no way out of this little
Yeah, you're kind of
predicament I've got myself in.
Sierra Oscar Lima on that one. Yeah, you're kind of shit out of luck. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but yeah. I had a couple of nights where I fucked my sleep schedule by doing that, but usually I just have it off to the side. I know exactly the kind of shit that I can sleep to, and I'll just put it on, put it aside, and just like me 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 me. You know what I mean?
I suppose, like for me, like whenever I watch YouTube, like most of the time, no matter what it is, I'm kind of invested. The only time that like I'll put something on in the background and I'm not like paying that much attention to it is like when I'm playing games and I want to just have like noise in the background, because you know how like
Mhm.
if you're playing certain games and you're trying to like 100% it, or you're trying to like do like some like very boring like menial task, there's not really a lot going on in the game besides you just like walking from place to place and
I
doing some
am
random thing, right?
I am very aware of that. When I do like Lego games, I either have to stream that I'm 100%ing them, or I have to fucking put on like there's a lot of games in general that are just very good podcast games, right? Like Elite Dangerous. Do you remember that game that I tried to get you into?
Yeah, like Elite Dangerous probably would be a good one for that too, right? You
Euro
just kind of
Truck
like
Simulator as well.
uh like yeah, I would imagine that one as well. The simulator games like that for me have always been really good. Just listen to something in the background games.
Hmm.
The one that I've always played was Power Washing, and I need to get back into it because I know they added some more stuff. But
Yeah, like post dad games, right?
I feel
Um,
like if there's a simulator game that's requiring a little bit too much attention from me, I just don't like it though. You know what I mean? Because some of the simulator games are like super super in depth, and I'm just like that's whenever it gets like not for me. You know?
yeah,
Because Power
yeah, I
Washing
get what you
Simulator
mean.
is like super simple. It's like spray the dirt away. You
Yep,
know? But then you get some simulators that are like so very like specific on all the little things you have to do in order to do anything in the game, and I'm just like I'm not trying to think this much. I just wanted to like turn my brain off and have a game.
that is fair. There was a game on Game Pass that I think it left a little while ago. Hard Space Shipbreaker. That is a pretty good podcast game, post ad game sort of thing. But I don't know. I think like the trucking games, whether it be trucking on land or trucking in a boat or trucking in a fucking spaceship, are like the best fucking podcast games. Elite Dangerous, Euro Truck Simulator, um, Sea of Thieves can sometimes be, depending, you know.
Yeah, like there's a lot like I feel like most games like that have some sort of like extra bonus thing that you can go for and it takes time is probably a good game to do it in.
Hmm.
Because I've done it like I 100% like a lot of games, or I used to. So I would always just throw on something like in between like me just walking around and doing things. Like I'd have my like my laptop in front of me. I click spacebar for cutscenes, pause it, unpause it, and then back to video, like right after type of thing.
That's fair. That's fair. I
Um,
think like it
one that
has
I
to be like a good like single player experience, you know, like that when it's just like single player and you're just like trying to like go through and there's a lot of like busy work. It's not super intellectually engaging. I think that's sort of the perfect recipe for a podcast game. But also, let us know if you're listening to this while you play games, and if so, what games are you playing? We would
like.
like to know.
Yeah, I would say like the one that I can recall doing that a lot for was Assassin's Creed, because you know the last couple of Assassin's Creed games have all been like open world, like
Jiminy
collectathon type of
Cockroach,
things.
yes, Jiminy Cockroach.
Um, specifically for Valhalla, I remember there was just so much of that, just run from place to place type of gameplay.
If I wasn't streaming Star Wars Outlaws, I think that would be a good podcast game as well. It's yeah, it can be a bit sloggish, but
Yeah, you just teleport to the nearest place, you run over there, you know. I will
mm-hmm,
say, there are a couple of moments, while doing that that are a little bit more interesting, right?
mm-hmm,
Like they have like the little riddles where it's like, oh man, solve the riddle,
mm-hmm.
and like you kind of have to think a tiny bit for that. But for most of it, it's like they tell you where to go,
Go
so
to a
it's not
place and
like
do a thing. Yeah,
yeah, so there's no brain work at all. It's just like just do, just do it type of thing,
yeah, and
and
like
you,
it
and uh
yeah.
and like you just go to like I know in Assassin's Creed it's real easy because in Assassin's Creed the way they have it usually is like they either have maps that you can get from like in-game stores, or you just go to like the synchronization point and it reveals all the little markers on the map type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you just do all that and then you just have hundreds of collectibles. So many.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
And as somebody who likes to collect things, I'm like, all right, well, you're gonna get a lot of YouTube videos out of this, you know?
Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor were kind of like that for me. Jedi Fallen Order was the first game I 100%ed. It took me until like 2021, mid pandemic, to ever sit down with an actual game and 100% it.
I remember
That's
the
yeah.
very first game I 100%ed. It wasn't a super big game though. Like, how big is that game that you would say
Um. Hmm. Hang on.
in terms of like
How
hours played? You think?
how long to beat Jedi Fallen Order? Um.
You don't. Well, see, I
Completionist. They say it's around 32 hours.
32 hours. My first game that I beat was a game called it was called Grow Home.
Oh yeah,
You ever play that one?
I've heard about it. It's the sequel to Grow Up.
Yes, I don't think they had Grow Up on. Actually, no, wait. Was Grow Home the first one, or was Grow? I think Grow Home might have been the first one, and then Grow Up was the second one.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, that was the very very first game I 100%ed. It was not that big of a game though. It was like one of those games you 100% in I would say less than 15 hours, maybe about 10, depending on if you're like speedrunning it. Like
Yeah,
for me, it was like a casual playthrough. I usually always try to do like a casual playthrough and then go back and get everything else if I enjoyed it, type of thing.
yeah. I will say this might not be correct because it says the main story takes 17 hours. That's a load of bullshit. I beat it in 12. The
Uh,
day it came out, I started playing at 5 a.m. I beat it by 5 p.m. So that's a load of bullshit. Uh,
I remember doing that a lot whenever games like first came out. I did that with I remember one of the first games I did that with was like the Kung Fu Panda game on the 360.
mm-hmm.
I played that like start to finish all in one day, and I was so proud of myself.
Yeah. Also,
A-
I
And I
think this is wrong too. Hang on. It's saying that Jedi Survivor completionist is 54 and a half hours. I think that's completely bullshit because I have 43 hours and I 100%ed it. So eat my ass.
you should use this website that I use. It has like tons and tons of stats. That's because I always go to the same website. It has stats on
Is it
just
how
about.
long to beat?
It has like estimated how long to beat, but you have to
No, is that the name of
understand.
the website?
No, it's not. No.
Oh, okay.
It links to your Xbox account, so it'll tell you like the estimated time that it takes to beat the game according to the website. I will say that the estimated time on the website is a little it might not be totally accurate to like the average gamer because most of the people that sign up for this are people that play games to completion, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As like their thing. So like usually if you're playing casually, you won't be able to hit that number realistically.
It took me. It's saying that rushed on the faster end takes 15 hours. Bullshit. I beat it in fucking 12. I have YouTube video evidence that I beat it in 12. So I did play it on the fucking easiest difficulty. However, that's because I was trying to beat it in 12 hours. And I don't know. I really like those games. Those games are really good. So I'm not surprised that I 100% of them. And then after that it was Lego Batman 1, which was kind of a fucking slog to get through, and then it was Lego Indiana Jones, which I kind of screwed myself cuz you need money to win, and I bought all the things except for the things that give you extra money, so it took me a little bit longer. And then Lego Star Wars was an abso-fucking-loot slog. Lego Star Wars is one of the fucking man, it's a game. It's certainly a game. It is. You have 6 hours of just doing the super stories, plus beat all the missions in story mode, beat all the missions in free play mode, beat all the missions in challenge mode. all of the bonus missions, um, and then buy everything, and then all of the bounty hunter missions. It is a fucking slog. It is a like I love it. One of my
Mhm.
favorite games of all time, but 100%ing it is very stressful. Um,
Yeah, there's definitely some games that to 100% it, like it sometimes isn't the greatest completion
yeah.
because there are games that make it very very satisfying to get that 100%. And then there's games where you get the 100% and you're like, "Well, I did that, but I didn't really get anything for it. It's just kind of like just for me type of thing."
Hmm.
And that's fine too, I suppose. Like I really enjoy it whenever games kind of give some sort of incentive to 100% it, like they're like, oh man, now you unlock this super cool item or this super cool cosmetic. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, Lego
cause
Star Wars definitely lacks that because in order to 100% the game, you have to buy everything. And the main goal or the main gift that they give you for 100%ing it is a thing that gives you extra money. And the only thing that helps with is one achievement for maxing out the money counter. So it's like, okay, thanks, I guess. Like, okay, whatever, sure. And it gives you extra pieces in the character creator, and it makes your character created characters super powerful. But again, what's the point? You've already done everything in the game, so it's kind of useless. But
yeah, like I know that I think I was telling you about it at a different podcast, but that game that I said was my favorite game of recent, Hi-Fi Rush, still
mm-hmm,
I haven't really found a really good game I would say that tops it in terms of like being memorable. But
mm-hmm,
that game had a completion bonus. It had like a really really long list of tasks you had to do. So you know how like there's like the achievements on like the achievement list on Xbox, right? Well, there was one achievement to do all the tasks on this giant in-game board, and the in-game board had like I want to say like 200 tasks on it. Most of them were like cumulative stuff that would like end up unlocking just by playing it, right? But then there was like a whole bunch of extra like challenges towards the bottom that were like do this boss without getting hit or do that boss without getting hit. You know, do the entire game on this difficulty. Do the entire this difficulty with S ranks. Whatever, right? Um, I did like the fact, however, that whenever you actually ended up 100%ing the game, pretty much when you finished the board, the game was over at that point. You 100%ed it, right?
mm-hmm,
But your reward was a golden guitar, right? Which was like the weapon that you would use in the game,
mm-hmm.
you know. And I really enjoy, like I said, whenever there's like some sort of like cosmetic to kind of like be like you did it,
I
you
will say,
even something small like that, it's still something, right?
I will say it's easy to fuck that up because um, Batman Arkham Knight has I've 100% in Batman Arkham Knight. I have not 240% in Batman Arkham Knight. So I've 120% it because that's main game plus all the story DLC, and then you have to do it again on New Game Plus, which is fucking hard. And your reward for that is just a normal bat suit with a gold bat symbol, and it's like, well, fuck it, thanks, I guess.
I do
Fucking
remember
thanks.
the one for Assassin's Creed 2 was really funny. If you 100%ed, I don't know if it was 100%. I think it might have just been if you got all the feathers, right? But the reward for that was that you would get a cloak or a cape. No, no, I
Hmm.
think it was like a cloak. Like the thing he wears like over his shoulder,
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
like
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like half
The
cloak.
cloak thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know what you're
but
talking about. Yeah,
it would have like the auditory symbol on it, which is like his family crest.
yeah, and it's notoriously bad for.
Yeah, like it would pretty much signal to all the guards, and you would like infinitely be on high alert. And it's one of those things
Uh,
where it's like, what's the point of that? You did all that work, and now you have a good giant target on your back.
yeah, it's. Didn't they do something similar in like later games, and it was actually good?
I'm trying to think, cause eh, like they don't really go by the achievement list as much. They have like collectible rewards, I suppose.
Yeah, like they had a collectible thing in Brotherhood that I think was like it was like that, but not shitty. If I
But Brotherhood was so long ago.
this is your whole personality is fucking Assassin's Creed. If you don't remember it, fucking what have you been
I've
playing all these fucking games
I've
for?
played the games twice. I played all the SEO games twice each. Once regularly and then once with the remaster. The remaster was a while ago. Also, did you know that they had like special levels unlocked behind the Ubisoft points? They weren't for achievements or anything. They were just, if you wanted them. And I
I'm
went back
sure
and
they
I got
did.
them. They also had like a special like title that you could get that was like Ultimate Assassin or whatever. But in order to do it, you had to get points from multiple Assassin's Creed games.
I'm sure you went and got it.
I think I would have. I don't think I was able to get all the points for Assassin's Creed 4 though, because the servers were down.
Oh,
That's
that
the
sounds
only
about right.
that's the only game in the series I wasn't able to finish because that one didn't have a remaster without multiplayer.
Wow,
Like
the only
all
good one, and they don't remaster it.
well,
Wow,
because
great fucking job, guys.
the first one didn't have multiplayer. The Ezio games did, but the remasters didn't. So like it removed those achievements. Three got a remaster. Rogue, I think, got a remaster. Four didn't get. Four was really the only one that didn't get a remaster, and it was like
Which
the
is
last.
fucking stupid considering it's the best fucking one they ever made.
It was funny though, because four, like, I don't really quite understand this, right? So Rogue, to my knowledge, I think came out after four or like at the same time as four. But
No, it came out at the same time as Unity.
oh, is you? Yeah, yeah. Wait, is that right? I think it.
Rogue was the one that came out on last gen. Unity was the one that came out on next gen.
Yeah, but I did Rogue come out before or after four though?
After 4.
So it came out after four, but I know Rogue has a 360 version.
Rogue
And
was only a 360 version.
wait, no, but I'm pretty sure Assassin's Creed 4 had a Xbox One version.
They went
That's
back
why.
and did it eventually, but
Okay, so see that's what it was. That 4 got released on both. Rogue only got released on 360, but then it got remastered. So even though Rogue
yes.
came out afterwards, it didn't have an Xbox One version, which is it's silly how they did that.
Yeah, I mean, who understands why those fucking French lunatics fucking make the decisions they do?
Yeah,
It's
I
yeah.
so 4 is the only one that I was never able to 100%.
4 is the best one. So I am so sorry that you fucking wasted your life playing the worst fucking ones.
Well, I 100%ed the story, but there's no way to really tell that. I 100%ed the story for Red Dead 2. You can't tell that either because on the achievement list, I don't have all the achievements. I did the same thing for both Dooms, but both Dooms also had multiplayer that I never played.
Red Dead 2 is fucking I don't envy you doing that cuz that game is fucking huge. So, holy god. Oh
Yeah,
my
well
goodness.
the worst part of it for that game was trying to find like this one turkey that just had a terrible spawn rate.
Yeah.
Terrible spawn rate. And I had to get like a perfect kill on every animal in the game. And that was like the only animals that didn't count towards that achievement were the ones on the island during that one segment because you couldn't return to the island, right?
Mhm.
And then the Carolina parakeets, which I tried my best to get it, but they were so rare.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the whole point.
That
Is
was the point. Also, I wanted to do the little Easter egg thing. Well, not really an Easter egg thing, but just kind of like the Carolina parakeet thing in general, where you could make them go extinct. Because I thought it was going to be funny, but it would have taken way too long just for
yeah.
that tiny little extra thing that it wouldn't have given me anything except for
You wouldn't have even gotten an achievement?
no, there was no achievement or anything. It was just kind of like an extra little additional thing. I wanted to do it because I wanted to kind of like see what was see kind of like see the end game for
Yeah, you know.
myself. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
looked up a
yeah.
clip of it later, but I was like, yeah, those I could never find even one of them. I just wanted to find one. That's all I wanted to find, just one. There was only like
You
10 of them in the game.
Well, they knew you were gonna fucking kill it, so they were like, no thanks. No thanks, bye. Fuck that.
Mm,
No thank you. But yeah, no, fucking yeah, I don't know. Anywho, do you want to do a big red button?
sure.
Do you have one?
I don't.
Why not?
You never tell me beforehand.
You know we do one every episode.
Chat GPT, I got you.
Oh, this is supposed to be the Halloween episode. Oh
Hey,
no.
Chat GPT,
Halloween's gonna be over by the time we post this. Whoops, don't care.
can
Um
you give me a um?
oh, I have one. I have one. Um
Yeah. Oh God, wait. How do I spell?
I have one. I have one. I have one. Are you ready? Are you ready? This one's very important. This is better than anything ChatGPT is gonna come up with.
Okay. Let me just. Wait. How do I spell Halloween? How am I getting this wrong?
Fuck Halloween. Halloween's over. By the time this comes out, Halloween's gonna be over. Actually, no,
It's
it's
a,
not. What am I talking about? No, what am I talking about? This is coming out on the 29th. Fuck. You're right. You're right. You're right. Fuck. I think I came up with one a couple days ago that was Halloween related, but fucking, I don't know. Whoops. I don't know. Are you ready? I'm about to drop some shit on you. You ready? Um,
yeah. Okay.
your IQ becomes 30 points higher, but everyone you love loses 30 points.
Well, I do know the way that IQ works. And I do know 30 points is like a significant bump.
Two standard deviations.
Yeah, but I feel like everybody else losing 30 points is oh, it's not great for them, you know.
No, it's not great
You
for you
know,
either because then you're gonna have to deal with people who, if they're average, become like mentally retarded, and if they're above average like me, or sorry, if they're above average like I don't know, Katarina, I guess, they become average, and then if they're like me, they're still smarter than you, but just not by as much.
I probably wouldn't just because I feel like I enjoy having like conversations with people that are able to actually contribute.
That's fair. I wouldn't do it either because there's already like a super huge gap between me and everyone else. And I don't want that to be even greater because you're all basically like ants to me,
I know
and
that
I
the way
don't
that
mean
IQ works is it's based off of I think the total population, isn't it? Like there can't be an
so.
IQ
So
that's
the
high
way
if there's not enough people, you
So
know?
there's two IQ scores. There's the raw IQ score, which is just like the actual like score how you do on the test. And then there's the transformed IQ score, which is what we use, where everyone is they put it in a certain equation that puts it um on a scale where 100 is the average, and people fall higher or lower than 100, and it's like it corresponds. So the measure that we know as IQ is technically the transformed measure of the actual IQ, and the actual IQ has actually been going up um over the years, but obviously the transformed IQ doesn't go up because it's not meant to. It's a transformed score. It's like a Z score, right? Where like every standard deviation is 1 or -1, and like the average is 0. So it's like it's not meant to go up, but like the actual raw scores show that the human race is actually getting more and more intelligent. Fun fact for you. But yeah, I wouldn't
Well, I
do it
would hope
either
so.
because I'm already better than everyone. I don't need to be even more better than everyone. You know what I mean? Like that's just overkill. Um uh
Well, I did ask ChatGPT for a Halloween themed one. If you want to hear what it came up with,
sure. I hope it's good.
I'll tell you what I told the prompt, and then I'll tell you what it said. Right?
Okay.
It says, "Give me a button question with a Halloween theme." Right? Very basic. Right?
Mm-hmm.
and it said, "On Halloween night, you stumble onto an ancient, eerie jack-o'-lantern with a button inside. A ghostly voice whispers, if you press the button, you'll be able to talk to the spirits of the dead every Halloween night, and they'll answer any questions you have. But every year, the spirits ask you for one favor in return. Refuse them, and they'll haunt you until the next Halloween."
Hmm. Hmm.
That's pretty solid, you know. That's a decent question. That's a decent one
I
for
mean,
for ChatGPT, you
how
know.
many questions do you get to ask? It's one, right?
Um, I'm assuming, like, let's say, like, every spirit you summon, it's like
It's
you can
question for favor.
for
So
question for favor,
it's like
yeah.
a 1-to-1. Okay.
So you can do as many as you want per year, but like, let's say you ask a lot of questions, you don't do a lot of favors. That's multiple people haunting you for the whole
Hmm.
year. The good thing is they only haunt you until the next Halloween, you know. So like, if they ask you for something really bad, you only gotta have 1 year of haunting, you know, for whatever they ask you.
That's true, but depending how fucking spooky they are, like that 1 year would be pretty fucking bad.
Well, like, think about it. You like, that's any dead person in history, you know. Like, let's just assume, right? I feel like this is a pretty decent one, you know, because assuming that you can just opt out of this is kind of like one of those things where it's like, like, do you have to ask a question? Do you have to summon somebody? Or is it like, oh, you know, if you don't have any questions this year, you're good, you know?
Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty easy one. You definitely, I feel like you would press the button at least once just to get like a pretty fucking easy one. But I feel like the if it was really super useful, the it would be very tempting to keep using it. Like you'd be like, well, I want to fucking like first thing is like you ask your dad, hey, like if your fucking dad died, it's like, hey, where'd you put fucking X? And he's like, oh, I put it right there. And it's like, oh, and he's like, favor, fucking tell your mom she's a bitch. I don't know, fucking, I don't know.
Solid, solid,
It's a
solid
good
first
favor.
use.
It's a good
Solid first,
favor,
solid first use of the button there, you know.
right? There's no downsides to that. There's no
Well,
fucking.
I guess it depends on how your relationship with your mother, but
That's double upsides, baby.
double upsides for you. Let's go.
Damn right.
It didn't have to be a bad favor, you know. It could be a good favor.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't know why we're automatically assuming that it's detrimental, but it's riskier, right? I feel like there's maybe it's not like an exact 1-to-1 on the level of like risk of favor versus potency of question, but like I feel like in general, the riskier the favor, the better the question, or like the better like you're asking someone, right? um like the more valuable like the information they would have, you know what I mean? Like if
Yeah,
you're
man. You know, you summon Pablo Escobar, be like, hey, you know, where are some hidden stashes of that money? You know
Is
what
he
I mean?
dead? Did he die? I don't even
Uh,
remember if he died.
Pablo Escobar. I think he. Is he dead? That's
Is
actually a
he
good
dead or is he
question.
in jail?
I thought I don't know why I just assumed that he was dead. You might be right. I don't know, but like, assuming that he's
um
dead, because I don't 100%
yeah, he
know. I
died in 93. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
guess that makes sense.
I'm just like, hey man, where's one of those hidden stashes of money? You know what I mean? Like, what your extra hidden one? You
That's
know,
fair.
I feel like he might have something to ask for. You know, that might be on a higher tier than, like, let's say, you know, your dad asking you to call your mom a bitch.
Yeah, all right, to be fair, Pablo Escobar, I think you were thinking of El Chapo. Or I was
Oh, that's
thinking
who
of
I
El
was.
Chapo. I,
Oh wait, no,
I was
you were
thinking of El
thinking.
Chapo
Yeah,
because
yeah.
El Chapo, I think, went to jail. Escobar's been dead for longer than I've been alive.
Yeah, like, or I'm like, hey man, give me Odysseus, and I'm like, hey man, did you really do the horse thing? Like, I want to know, right?
I.
Because I'm still confused
What
about how
would
the
you
horse
do with
thing.
that? What would you
I'm
do with
just
that?
I'm just curious,
Also, how are
man.
you confused by it? It's very simple.
No, because like, logistically, I just don't know how, like, people would realistically be fooled by a horse, a giant wooden horse.
Because that's the kind of dumb shit that the Greek gods would ask for. They would ask for dumb bullshit to be
I
like
guess it
made
was a
for like a
different
sacrifice for
time,
them.
right? But like, it's just so hard to imagine.
That's fair.
You know
Um,
what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like all history, all the little stories account for it, but also they have so much exaggerations in those stories about how the Greek gods talked to them and how men picked up 2-ton boulders with one arm over their shoulder. You know what I mean, right? And how the spears were like 50 feet long, and they chucked it with one hand across like a 300 foot battlefield. I'm just like, there has to be some exaggeration here. So I don't know if the wooden horse happened as literally as it said it did.
I mean, if I had a bunch of fucking Greek dudes in a horse, I'd just be able to smell them. Because Greek people stink. They smell. You can smell them through the horse. So if I was the Trojans, I'd be like, there's some stinky ass Greeks in here, dude. And they'd be
Yeah,
like, oh
man.
yeah,
The
so
the
there is.
the Greeks were just chilling outside of the walls for 9 years. You know what I mean? I guess they were next to the ocean, so they probably could have like showered in the ocean, but the ocean's not that clean either.
No, but I mean, the ocean was definitely a lot cleaner back then than it is now.
Yeah, but that's still like salt water. It's not the greatest for like washing yourself.
I mean, you
Maybe
take what
maybe
you get.
Poseidon busts the water for them. I'm,
I'm pretty sure Poseidon was anti-Greek. I think he was pro-Trojan. I don't remember off the top of my head
I
though.
off the top of my head, I don't remember either. There's definitely some that I remember. I remember the whole thing was that Paris chose Aphrodite for like some competition.
Who's the hottest?
Yeah, it was pretty much like who's the hottest contest, right? And then Hera and Athena were the other two goddesses, and so they are anti-Trojan because of that.
Yep.
And
And
then all the other gods, I guess, just kind of chose sides after that. I know they were like the original three to take sides.
some kind of switch sides halfway through, but Aphrodite generally stays Trojan because she's kind of a bitch.
I
Um,
do I do like the one part of the Iliad where Aphrodite and like Helen are talking, and Aphrodite calls Helen a bitch.
fuck
You
yeah.
know,
But
because
maybe, oh my god, maybe she needed to do a favor, just like in the fucking Big Red One. Maybe she communicated with the fucking spirits of the dead. They're like, call Helen a bitch, please. Somebody do that,
you,
and now it's full circle.
that maybe that's what it was. Helen was like Helen was like, what the hell, Aphrodite? Just let this Paris guy die. I didn't even want to be here. You know what I mean? And she was like, stop being such a bitch, Helen.
Quit being such a cunt, Helen. You fucking whore.
And I
You.
was like, damn, this is that was like the most drama the book had,
That's
to
a
be
fucking Real
honest.
Housewives type shit, right? That's like the.
Exactly. When I
How do
read
you
that
know what's
line,
good for me? That's my opinion. That's some fucking Real Housewives shit. Oh my
let me
god.
tell you, like if the Iliad had more of that, oh my god, what a good read that would have been.
Yeah, if it was just like a fucking like reality show type bullshit, it'd been a lot more interesting. 'Cause they kind of don't really do anything otherwise. Yeah, except
That
for
was the highlight of the book, though, for sure, 100%.
I will say, actually, the better highlight is Achilles dragging that motherfucker Hector just around his fucking car like
Oh
a pair
yeah,
of
with
fucking
the
truck nuts, dude. It's beautiful.
like he dragged Hector around so many times, but
For like a week.
the gods protected his body, so he never got a scratch on him the entire time.
That's such bullshit. If I drag your ass around for a fucking week, I don't care how many gods are protecting your body. I want you to be fucking like red mist.
Like he didn't decay, he didn't get any scratches on him. He looked perfect, even though he got dragged for weeks and weeks
That's
because
some horse shit.
the gods had pity on Hector. I do like the one part where Achilles challenges the river to a fight
I mean,
because the river is like, "Hey man, You're kind of killing these people a little too close to me. And Achilles is like, I gotta do what I gotta do, type of thing.
He's
Like
like,
you're
I'll
kind of in my
literally
way.
kill you too. I will literally kill you too. I will fight this body of water and win.
Pretty much. I was like, damn, Achilles. All right, I see.
Greek mythology is so fucking based sometimes. So fucking based sometimes. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Well, anywho, we want to thank our patron Justin Connor for enabling us to talk about a story that's literally fucking 3,000 years old instead of anything relevant, like the wild
Not
robot.
like
That's super
I
cool,
heard there's a sequel coming out soon.
bro.
Odyssey
Bro,
2, Iliad
we're
2.
gonna, bro, the most anticipated album release of the last 3,000 years, bro. It's gonna
You
go so
know,
hard.
I heard that Mozart's dropping new music soon. I don't know if it's true or not. I hope so. That's
It's
cool.
like fucking the Chronic 5, dude. Oh my god. We're almost there. It's will will fucking Dr. Dre release the Chronic 5 or fucking uh Homer release the Odyssey Part 3? Who can
Let's go.
really tell?
Yeah, man. We don't need an Odyssey Part 2. We have Iliad, Odyssey, then Odyssey 3, you know?
I mean, Odyssey, the fucking whatever the thing is called. I don't give a shit.
Iliad 2.
Iliad 4, Odyssey 9, fucking Aeneid -1.
Ooh,
Sure.
I like that. You know what I mean? Give me like a pre-sequel type beat. It's like the Odyssey one and a half.
Yes, but also make it about Handsome Jack. Also make it about Handsome Jack.
Like, yeah, like we're gonna find out it's like on a tablet written somewhere, and they just haven't discovered it yet, and they're gonna be like, "How did he know?"
He just knew. God, Kevin Feige, you've done it again. You son
Kevin
of a
Feige
bitch.
has it in his house. He has the tablet by Homer. He's been hoarding it away. He's like, I can't let them know.
That's where he got the idea for the MCU from. And now we're back full circle again. Now we need to do the outro because we've said too much and we're gonna get assassinated. So if you don't see an episode from us next week, that's what happened. Um thank you all very much for listening. Again, Justin Connor, we thank you for your patronage. Join our Patreon. You get a cool shout out for the $3 tier. If you join our $5 tier, you get to listen to the whole episode ad free as soon as it's done being edited, which right now is literally at fucking 1:30 a.m. Um, uh, fucking if you join the $3 tier, then you just get up to the ad break, which you're missing out a whole bunch. You missed out on like the only funny parts of the episode.
Yeah, all
We
the good
save
stuff
all the
happening in the
funny
second
part at
half.
the end. Yeah, exactly. You're missing
Yeah,
out.
yeah, totally intentional, not just the
Not
roll of
just
the
the fact
dice.
that we're not funny. Yeah.
I feel like we really hit sometimes, and then sometimes you have to wait for it. It's like a slow burn.
Dude, that burn is like fucking. It's like taking place in the South Pole, right? You're that's that's how slow that burn. Oh my god. Oh fuck. Oh, it's too late. It's too late at night. I'm struggling. Hang on. I got it. Patreon.com. Also movie commentaries. We did Transformers 1 already. That one's public because there was kind of a lot of technical difficulties with this one. I think we're gonna be okay. For the next one, we're gonna be avoiding technical difficulties as best we can. It's gonna be pretty cool. We're gonna
No
we're gonna
promises though.
don't worry about it. But that one is going to be available for our $5 patrons, along with the rest of our movie commentaries. They're pretty fun, you know. So we're doing the Bayverse Transformers. We might do the 1986 one, and that one's really good. It's super hype. Stay tuned. You never know. But join our $5 tier, and you can find out for yourself. It'd be pretty cool. But yeah. Anywho, we are on social media using the handle at IIHS Podcast. We're on YouTube, Threads, Instagram. Those are the three best places if you want to go check out our stuff. Topic suggestions, Q&A, general updates. Best place to go. We try and get all these episodes out on YouTube the same day. Doesn't always work out, but if that's where you get your podcast, we try and get them out the same day. Um, Anywho, I'm tired. My name is Kale. I'm incredibly influential. No, nothing.
I'm sorry.
No,
All right.
we can't end it yet.
We can end it if you want.
I said my name is Kael. I'm incredibly influential.
Oh, I like zoned. I completely like blanked. I was like just getting lost.
Jesus. Jesus.
And my name's Danny Eden, and I'm highly successful.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week. Have a happy Halloween. Love you. Goodbye.